Why you back here? Why you back here? For we land, pay our money. You must pay. You must pay. You must pay.
There's a multi-billion naira empire operating in plain sight, a structure so deeply entrenched in the streets of Lagos that it now rivals the state's own power. It is informal, largely unregulated, and astonishingly lucrative. In 2021 alone, it generated a staggering 123 billion naira. That's more than the total annual revenue of 35 Nigerian states. Where is the catch? This money did not go into building roads, building schools or hospitals. It went straight into private pockets, funneled through an intricate network of street enforcers known as Agberos. This empire does not have its headquarters in a bank, a corporation, or a government building. It lives on the streets, in the chaos of motor parks and junctions, a network of street-level transport enforcers who have now evolved from humble assistants into a powerful, often feared political and economic forces, the Agbero system of Lagos State, that is now finding expression in neighboring states like Rivers State and across the nation.
Since when I dropped out from school where there is no money, my father, is old. About 7-8 years ago.
But you get family too?
But I don't born like 4 pikin inside now. They train my pikin.
The term Agbero may sound familiar to any Lagosian, derived from two Yoruba phrases, Agba and Ero, meaning those who receive passengers. Agberos were once young men who helped load goods, organize queues, and find transport for commuters in the early 20th century. Back then, they earned a few coins for their service, contributing to the order and flow of public transport in a city on the rise. But over the decades, Lagos changed, and so did the Agberos. As the transport system became more chaotic, Agberos transformed into self-appointed authorities. They began to collect levies from commercial drivers, no longer for those helping them with passengers, but now for the mere act of operating on the road. By the early 1970s, this loosely organized group started aligning themselves with unions. Eventually, they consolidated under the banner of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, officially recognized between 1978 and 1980 during Nigeria's Second Republic. At first, the NURTW was a legitimate body. It protected the interests of commercial drivers, negotiated with the government, and advocated for better working conditions. But things began to change during the economic downturn of 1980s. With the introduction of the Structural Adjustment Program (SAP) under General Babangida, many government-owned services were privatized. Transport workers, once tied to public payroll, were forced into informal operations, and as the union struggled to stay relevant, many abandoned advocacy for survival and then for power. Agberos, who once collected dues to support the union, began demanding payments for everything, for loading, booking, parking, and even for simply starting your engine. The fees were arbitrary, and refusal to pay often meant violence.
And as a bus driver, if you refuse to pay an Agbero person, this is what you get.
The commercial drivers had nowhere to run. The same unions meant to protect them had become the enablers of their operation. Then came a pivotal moment in the evolution of the Agberos empire. The election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as governor of Lagos State in 1999. Tinubu inherited a city plagued with street gangs and informal workers. To restore orders, or perhaps to consolidate control, he created 37 new local council development areas, expanding Lagos administrative units and creating thousands of informal government roles. Many former era boys and Agberos were absorbed into these structures as revenue agents, but those left behind continued their extortion, now with a new sense of impunity. During Tinubu's tenure, the NURTW began to formalize its street operation. Uniforms were introduced. Local chairmen were appointed to manage parks. Each chairman reported to a unit head, and those unit heads to zonal leaders. This chain of command allowed for better control and better profits. Collections flowed up to hierarchy, with each level taking a cut before reaching the top. This system helped produce powerful figures like Musulu Akesayo, or better known as MC Oluomo, who rose from Oshodi banks to become the face of Lagos transport empire. He earned public recognition, political connections, and even praise from government officials. It was under this arrangement that the Agbero economy exploded. According to the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, there are about 75,000 commercial buses in the state. Each pays an average of 3,000 naira daily in levies. Add 50,000 tricycles at 2,000 naira each, and 37,000 motorcycles at 1,000 naira each on a daily basis, and the Agbero system is pulling in roughly 340 million naira daily. That's more than 123 billion naira annually. To put this in perspective, this figure surpasses the entire annual internally generated revenue of 35 out of Nigeria's 36 states. The only state it does not surpass is Lagos itself. But ironically, this massive revenue stream is not reflected in any official budget. The Lagos State Internal Revenue Service admits to collecting road taxes, but no documentation or breakdown of these Agberos related levies exist. The State Auditor General and the National Bureau of Statistics are silent. This money, by all indications, disappears into private pockets. Many believe that the mysterious road tax refers to the ticket sales brokered by the Agberos on the road, which surprisingly isn't recognized by the Lagos state government as revenue. But the definition of revenue by the state is exempted earnings collected by agents on behalf of the government, meaning that the Agberos who now collect the road taxes as agents of the government now bask in luxury of handling these funds without being demanded of it. For some reason, this weird policy has continued to be upheld by the Lagos state government despite disapproval by accountants. Further investigation revealed that some of these road levies ended up in the NURTW and its driver union, the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. However, the bulk of the money, after being fingered by those below the operating chain, reportedly end up in private pockets, most of whom hold huge political influence in the state and are linked with the government. Hence, it is not even difficult to deduce or to conclude that the reasons why the Lagos state government are choosing to look the other way around while the oppressive system of road governance continues to thrive is because the government are the very people responsible for these extortions. Public opinions also pointed out the issue of thuggery during the elections. Many people have even concluded that the value of Agberos is not financial but political. During elections, Agberos are frequently deployed as street enforcers. They intimidate voters, attack opposition supporters, and secure polling stations for their political patrons.
If you vote APC for a year, go your house. Nobody force you come here. Go house, so if I see you vote another, I will come look am. If I see you vote another party, go help our house. No one joke for here. This territory where you dey, na APC o. Go your house. Go relax.
In 2015, the Agbero of Lagos, Real One Akiolu, was caught on video threatening the Igbo community to vote for a particular candidate.
Any one of you, I swear in the name of God Almighty Allah, goes against my will that Ambode, inshallah, will be the next governor of Lagos State. The person will die inside this government.
During the 2019 elections, ballot boxes were snatched on broad daylight in areas like Oshodi and Mushin, with eyewitnesses pointing to NURTW members as culprits. Even politicians are falling victims to this underground power. In the rally preceding the 2019 gubernatorial elections, members of the NURTW and its leader were attacked by what was believed to be a disagreeing faction of the union, leading to the stabbing of MC Oluomo, leader of the union, and 8 others. The attacking factions were alleged to have attacked out of their loyalty to the then current governor, who they believe was being forced by the political godfathers to drop his ambitions for his second tenure. With such level of rascality existing in Lagos political space, executed by the Agberos and feared by the power that be, no politician would totally want the alienation, as the Agberos are now themselves a political currency and key to the gold mine embedded along the road of Lagos State. Many view Agberos as nothing but henchmen assigned to the dirty feedback and receiving crumbs in return. While this can be quite arguable considering the multi-billion naira industry they operate in, it is surprisingly possible that the average Agbero makes an average minimum wage in a week. A former Agbero noted that it was only when tires don't roll on the road that they don't make money. But Agberos are not just political weapons, they are a public menace. Being on the wrong side of their book can be a nightmare for any Lagosian or driver, as these Agberos virtually control the street and consolidate their strength in members.
You have breakdown, you don't get help, rather you see area boys coming around and with the pretext that they want to assist you to maybe help you to sort whatever the issue is in your car, they end up extorting so much money from you. As much as 50,000, they'll be asking for 50,000, 20,000, 30,000. They will, no matter how you beg them to say, oh, this is what I have 5,000, I have one, they will not agree. They will take what they say they want to take. And as they finish, another set of them will come out. Just like that, it has not been easy being on Lagos Road.
For the drivers on the road, refusing to pay their levies potentially translates into having their car damaged or removed. Many commercial drivers have decried this method, stating that the transport business is no longer what it used to be. A bus driver revealed that beyond the mandatory national ticket, they were repeatedly charged at various locations and at different times throughout the day. To add salt to the injury, these road taxes were reportedly increased in 2013, with the reason that the transport drivers increased their boarding fares, which was done in response to the removal of fare subsidies by the Tinubu administration. In all this, no one sees the impact of these unbearable fees in solving any problem, other than inflating the cost of transportation and filling the road with thuggery, obstacles and violence. To say the least, the NURTW has tried to distance itself from the tag Agberos, which has now become a derogatory and defining term for hooligans. The union has urged the public to refrain from addressing its members as Touts, as they are just workers and do not engage in any forceful collection of taxes. The union also claims to remain in the business of protecting commercial drivers, highlighting an example where their cordial relationship with law enforcement agencies has led to the reduction of official fines levied on drivers who break traffic rules. In 2022, significant organizational shift occurred within the union when the Lagos state government suspended its operations, citing internal conflict and leadership crisis. Furthermore, the government established the Lagos Park and Garage Management Committee to oversee transport activities. This newly formed body was not only chaired by MC Oluomo, who had previously served as the Lagos State NURTW chairman, and went on to allegedly absorb former members of the disbanded union. In fact, it was reported that nothing changed at all, as the PMS was just a new name for the same old organization. Regardless, the Agberos still operated, persisting in the extortion of drivers, either in disguise or with the usual use of force. Later, in September 2023, the committee was dissolved and the National Union of Road Transport Workers, after close to 2 years of indefinite strike suspension, was then reinstated. Expecting a sort of rebate in the organization, commercial drivers only saw things get worse. The rational increase of the union levies following the removal of fuel subsidy led to the threat of industrial actions by commercial drivers, who complained that the proceeds of the business only went into paying the union's ridiculous fees and buying fuel. Commercial drivers now report paying between 5,000 and 7,000 daily in various forms of union levies. A full day's income is often gone before the first trip is completed. For the passengers, it means higher fares, and for the state, it means the streets remain lawless. So where does this leave the average Lagosian? For one, transport costs continue to rise. A woman earning 35,000 naira a month spends nearly half of it on daily transporting. Many drivers now work almost 24 hours in order to generate money for their family. For the unemployed youth, Agberos system remains a dangerous but lucrative alternative. Some Agberos have claimed to earn between 10,000 and 50,000 naira daily. Others record making up to 45,000 naira in Tinubu's regime. But this money comes at a great cost: violence, addiction, and even death. The Agberos system has become a symbol of everything broken in the Nigerian urban experience: corruption, impunity, violence, and exploitation. And yet, it thrives, not in secret, but in the open. Complicit of those in power. Unless bold reform emerges, unless leaders dare to cut the ties between politics and thuggery, the streets of Lagos will remain in the hands of men without uniforms, issuing tickets without receipt, and wielding power without accountability. This is not just a story of Touts. It's a story of how a city surrendered its roads to fear. A story of a shadow government in the street. A story of a parallel government. Thank you for watching. See you some other time. Cheers.